So don't think that we are grasshoppers. Jangan pikir kita ini hanya sebagai belalang, saudara ya. Never think like that. Kenapa? Because the Lord is with us. Kalau Tuhan beserta dengan kita, seberapa kecil kita, di zaman hakim-hakim, the time of judges, the judges will think, oh, we need to have 10,000 soldiers to be able to win. But God says, no, Gideon, you need only 300. You need only 300 because I want to be with you. Speaking about hoping, pada saat kita berbicara tentang pengharapan, ya, there is a statement saying that it is hope that kills you. Pengharapan itu seringkali yang justru apa ya? Mengecewakan kita, membunuh kita. Saya berharap Arsenal jadi juara Premier League atau England jadi juara dunia atau juara Eropa. Always disappointed. Selalu apa? Mudah-mudahan di semester tahun ini ya, gitu ya. For Arsenal or England, yeah, we are going to start the World Cup tomorrow, yeah. So we are all experienced in one way or another disappointment. Ada kekecewaan yang kita alami dalam dunia ini. There is a statement saying that women when they got married, pada saat mereka menikah, they are hoping that the husband will change. Perubahan karakternya di wanita-wanita itu, husband will change. Ya, pas kawin gak berubah-berubah. Sama aja terus sebelum dengan kawin. Dan pria juga memiliki pengharapan. The man or the husband were hoping that the women will not change. But they do change. Anthony, right? They even change. Yeah, you can fill in the blank what kind of changes. Yeah. Anyway, itulah jadi perubahan. Ya, we hope things. We have been hoping that we will build the church at the back of St. Stephen. It did not materialize. Yeah. It can be disappointed. Some of you have been struggling with immigration, and when you have your first lawyer, you thought, this will be it. I will have my paper. Saya akan dapat surat keimigrasian saya. And many of you have been waiting for years. Spending a lot of money, ya. Pengharapan yang kadang-kadang apa ya? Hancur. Ada satu statement, there's a statement written by Julie Boxbaum, ya. He said that dia katakan apa? Saya membaca sebuah penelitian tentang para orang-orang yang di penjara, yang mereka memiliki hukuman seumur hidup, ya. Orang-orang di penjara yang dihukum seumur hidup, ya. Prisoners with a life sentence. And the ones we thought the possibility of parole, yang tanpa kemungkinan untuk dibebaskan, itu ya lebih berbahagia daripada yang apa? Memiliki hubungan seumur hidup yang apa? Memiliki kesempatan untuk dibebaskan, parole namanya. Jadi kalau ada kesempatan, ada pengharapan, itu orang-orang justru tidak lebih bahagia daripada yang tidak apa? Memiliki kesempatan untuk parole. So that's why it says like that. Sometimes it is the hope that kills you. Ya. Apakah kita seharusnya tidak memiliki pengharapan? That if the hope kills us, should we not have hope at all? Adakah kita tidak memiliki, sebaiknya tidak usah ada pengharapan? Ya. Saya ingat waktu kami ke Ethiopia, istri saya katakan, apa rahasia sampai orang bilang, Ibu Pendeta, kenapa bisa tahan di Ethiopia? Ya, karena waktu kami tiba di Ethiopia, we don't have any hope. Kita tidak memiliki pengharapan. Artinya tempat tinggal kami nggak usah pikir-pikir tempat tinggal yang bagus. No, we don't need to think about the best place, the best house that we're going to have as a missionary. No, don't have any hope. Jangan pikir apa ya? Jangan pikir apa-apa. Just live day to day. Jadi nggak usah punya pengharapan macam-macam. Is that the way that we should do with our life without any hope, so that we will not be disappointed? Supaya kita nggak kecewa. Waktu Anda kawin, nggak usah punya pengharapan. Pacar ini mau berubah, tidak berubah. Masa bodoh. Is that okay? Well, we are people of hope, yeah? We keep singing after every sermon. We have this hope that burns within our hearts. This is not just a song, ini bukan hanya satu lagu, it is not just a good sentence, but this is our identity. Inilah identitas kita. Orang-orang yang memiliki apa ya? Pengharapan. Without hope, we are dead. If tadi statementnya katakan hope that kills, but for us, without hope, we died. Tanpa pengharapan kita apa ya? Mati. Then the Bible speaks about hope after hope after hope for us. Pengharapan demi pengharapan demi pengharapan bagi kita ya. Titus 2:11-13 apa dikatakan? Karena kasih karunia Allah yang menyelamatkan semua manusia sudah nyata. Salvation has appeared to all men. Ia mendidik kita supaya kita meninggalkan kefasikan dan keinginan duniawi dan supaya kita hidup bijaksana, adil dan beribadah dalam dunia sekarang ini. Ya. So the grace of God brings us into what? The grace of God bring us to what? Salvation. Keselamatan kita oleh sebab rahmat Tuhan. And then what else? In verse 13. We are, who are saved at the present age, ya, we are looking for the blessed hope and glorious appearing. Dengan menantikan penggenapan pengharapan kita yang penuh bahagia dan pernyataan kemuliaan Allah yang maha besar. We have this hope. We need to have hope. Kalau kita tidak memiliki pengharapan untuk kehidupan kebangkitan dan lain sebagainya, buat apa Anda di sini? We studied about this week ya. We studied this week that without hope in resurrection, then what is the use for us to believe in God? What is the use for us to gather here in this place of worship? If there is no hope, kalau tidak ada pengharapan, buat apa kita beribadah? Buat apa kita apa? Berbakti. In fact, the word the word blessed dikatakan ini, blessed hope, pengharapan yang penuh bahagia, berbahagia, kata bahagia, makarios. Itu artinya apa? Apa artinya daripada itu adalah sesuatu yang orang lain tidak miliki. We have hope that others do not have. Itulah sebabnya kita dicemburui. Kita sudah pelajari pelajaran sesama kita ya. We study our Sabbath school. That the meaning blessed is something that we have that others do not have, and they envy us because of that. Kita memiliki sesuatu yang orang lain tidak miliki, dan mereka cemburu atas apa yang kita miliki. We have that blessed hope. Not only that, in 1 Peter 1 verse 3, it says what? Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Terpujilah Allah dan Bapa kita Tuhan Yesus Kristus, yang karena rahmat-Nya yang besar telah melahirkan kita kembali oleh kebangkitan Yesus Kristus dari antara orang mati. Kepada apa? Why we are now worshiping? Because we have not only blessed hope, we have living hope. Pengharapan yang menghidupkan. Pengharapan yang menghidupkan. Banyak orang-orang yang keluar dari kamp konsentrasi di Nazi, Germany, di Poland dan lain sebagainya. The reason why they were able to went out, mereka selamat keluar dari kamp konsentrasi, because they have hope. Yeah, not because they don't have hope. The truth is because they have hope. They are longing to the time when they will be out from the concentration camp. Yeah, from the concentration camp. Yes, we have hope. Yeah, we have hope. The question is, how is our hope today? Bagaimana pengharapan Anda? Pasti harap-harap Yesus mau datang. When I was small, I thought that, when I was in middle school, I believe. When I was in middle school, but I thought that I would never pass the year 2007. Pada saat saya kecil, saya berharap, saya sudah pikir waktu middle school ya, I will not pass the year 2007, 2007. Kenapa? Because we heard that Jesus would come before the year 2000. So 2007 is the complete time when Jesus would come. Yeah. We used to hear that. I was longing for 2007 at that time, when I was still in the 1980s, yeah? 2007. But 2007 has passed. What about our hope now? Apa pengharapan kita? Yeah. Sometimes the hope flickered down. Mulai apa? Meredup. Kenapa? Because maybe we thought, Lord, when will you come? Kapan kau mau datang? Pengharapan itu seakan-akan sering tertunda. Our hope has sometimes been delayed. And the Bible speak of a delayed hope. Pengharapan yang tertunda itu tertulis dalam Alkitab, dalam Amsal 13 ayat 12. Amsal 13 ayat 12 katakan apa? Harapan yang tertunda, hope deferred, what will happen to the hope deferred? Apa yang terjadi kepada harapan yang tertunda? Make the heart sick. Menyebabkan hati kita itu sakit atau menyedihkan hati, bahasa Indonesia katakan. Menyedihkan hati. Pengharapan yang tertunda. Ya, seringkali kita pikir, waduh, ini untuk dapat surat, untuk dapat bangunan gereja sendiri, seringkali tertunda, ya. Tertunda, dan itu seringkali sakit sekali, kadang-kadang rasa sakit. Ya. But what should be our attitude? Apa yang seharusnya menjadi sikap kita? What should be our position, ya? When we face with hope deferred atau hope delayed. I would like to focus on the story that comes from the book of Numbers, ya, the Old Testament book, tentang peristiwa yang terjadi pada saat itu, ya, peristiwa yang terjadi, ya. Oke. Nah, mari kita bisa. This is 1 year after they left Egypt. 1 tahun mereka sudah keluar dari Mesir. They were just celebrating the second Passover. Mereka sudah baru saja merayakan Paskah yang kedua, ya. Dan the memory of God's miracles, mujizat-mujizat Tuhan itu still fresh in their mind, masih terbayang. Tuhan melepaskan mereka keluar dari Mesir. Laut Merah yang terbelah dua, ya. The Red Sea that was open and they were able to enter the dry land. They still remember that. Yeah. And now they're about to enter the promised land. 1 year after they left, they're now about to enter the promised land. Now the living hope, their blessed hope was so high. Hebat sekali gitu, ya. Pengharapan mereka. Ya, pengharapan mereka. Sudah kenyataan, pengharapan itu sudah hampir semua goal, orang bilang. Semua dicapai. And so what happened? See here, it seems like God asked them, ya. Maka Musa menyuruh mereka, ya. Musa menyuruh mereka mengintai tanah Kanaan, katanya kepada mereka, pergilah dari sini ke tanah Negeb dan naiklah ke pegunungan dan amatilah bagaimana keadaan negeri itu. Do you think that it is necessary for them to go and see the land? God already told them, I'll give you, take that land. Do you really need to see that? No, ya. The truth is, if you open, kalau kita baca Deuteronomy, kitab Ulangan 1 ayat 22 sampai 23, ini adalah permintaan orang-orang Israel sendiri. This is their desire. They want to see first. To see in order to believe. That's what they want. But it was not the desire of God for them to see first, to be sent 12 spies. Bukan rencana Tuhan untuk supaya mereka kirim 12 mata-mata. It was their desire. Anyway, God approved. God said, okay, if that's what you want, okay, go ahead. Kalau kamu mau, okay. Ya, silakan. Lalu diutuslah mereka, ya. Jadi mereka sudah, they're about to enter, they were here. Garis Barnea, they're about to enter, then God say, go and look. And if you look, ya, there was no Google Earth at that time, maybe because that's why they have to come and look, ya. But before God sent them, this is the message that God wants to have. Before they go and see, this is the message that God wants them to remember. What is that? Verse 20. In verse 20, be of good courage. Tabahkanlah hatimu, and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. Okay, if you look, kalau saat ini mungkin, ya, Arda sudah pernah di Israel, dan kalau Anda pergi Israel, maybe kalau Anda ikut di pesisir, if you see the Jordan River, beside Jordan River, wah, itu banyak pohon-pohon green sekali, ya. Tapi banyak tempat lain they are already dry, ya, sudah kering. Kenapa? Karena Israel ini tempat orang apa, ya? Perang salib dan lain sebagainya. Israel has been used as the battleground for many years. So many trees has been cut down, ya, dipotonglah pohon-pohon dan sebagainya. Tapi still we can see that Israel land is fertile than compared to Egypt. Ya, saya sudah pernah lihat Egypt. Saya sudah 2 kali ke Israel ya, dan kita lihat memang Israel itu lebih hijau daripada tempat lainnya di Arab dan lain sebagainya. So they're really a good land, ya. And you can see lot of trees, lot of fruit trees still exist there. Okay, now so the message that they have to keep in their mind, tabahkanlah apa? Hatimu, be of a good courage. Be of a good courage dari kata kasak, artinya grow firm or strong, strengthen. Teguhkan, kuatkan, kiranya pada saat engkau melihat, engkau diperkukuh. Your heart will be strengthened. Not when you see and you become what? Small. So the reason why God say, okay, I will allow you to go and spy so that your heart will be what? Stronger. When you see the promised land. Yeah, when you see the promised land. Yeah. And true. For 40 days they went to Israel. They went to the promised land. And they look at the land. And they, not only that, they brought back some of the fruits from the promised land. And you can see abundantly. Ya. Bapak Jaminten saya lihat terus dia minum tuh pomegranate itu ya. Waduh, dia minum terus. Karena diperes gitu ya. Anyway, ketika mereka sampai ke lembah Eskol, dipotong mereka lah di sana suatu cabang dengan setan dan buah anggurnya. So they bring a lot of what? Grapes. Yeah, they bring grapes. Yeah. Juga mereka membawa beberapa buah delima, pomegranates, and apa? Buah ara. Buah ara itu seperti sawo gitu ya. Figs ya. Enak itu, cukup manis ya. Kita di sini juga ya. Banyak ya, banyak di pomegranate juga banyak ya. Tapi saya tidak tahu kenapa Bapak Jaminten minum terus di sana dia. Lebih sehat di sana Pak Jaminten ya. Anyway, so they brought everything. Ya. Yeah. Then they told him, and then they went. Then mereka sampai kepada Musa, lalu mereka berkata kepada Musa. Verse 27. Then they told him, mereka menceritakan kepadanya, kami sudah masuk ke negeri kemana kau suruh kami, dan memang negeri itu berlimpah-limpah susu dan madunya. Bukan karena banyak bees, not because there are a lot of bees in that land, but because a lot of fruits can be used as sugar. Banyak buah-buah itu dapat dijadikan apa? Seperti apa? Gula, ya. Susu dan madunya. Dan inilah hasilnya. They show them. And the people were excited. That's what if only they stop there. Wow, well and good. Hati mereka menjadi apa? Lebih kuat. Oh, we are now in the desert. Kita berada di padang gurun. And when we enter, we will have lot of fruits. We will have lots of this and that. If only the spies stop there with their report, well and good. But what happened in verse 28? Apa yang terjadi kemudian? But, nevertheless, tanahnya itu bagus. Mar, saya selalu katakan kalau ada mar itu rusak yang pertama itu. Mar, hanya saja. Bangsa yang diam di negeri itu kuat-kuat dan kota-kotanya berkubu dan sangat besar. Juga keturunan enak, itu bukan sedap untuk dimakan, bukan ya. Itu keturunan anak ya. Telah kami lihat di sana. Kalau Anda membaca the descendants of Anak, or Enak, it was the descendant yang apa? Besar-besar. Kata Anakim. Kata Anakim berarti long neck. Artinya orang yang apa ya? Yang tinggi-tinggi. Ya, orang yang tinggi-tinggi yang mereka percaya dari Nephilim ya. And nanti kita juga baca, we will see. So there were giants in that land. And the Israelites say, we are like grasshoppers. Kita kayaknya belalang saja, kecil sekali. This is not according to the promise that God has given them. Ya. Jangan hatimu, jangan apa? Teguhkan hatimu. Jangan sampai kecil hatimu. But the result of their spying, hatinya kecil. Hatinya apa? They were not anymore have a strengthened heart, but becoming smaller heart. Unfortunately, the abundance of natural fruits did not inspire the people to bear spiritual fruit. Yeah. abundance of natural fruit did not inspire the people to bear spiritual fruit. They were terrified. Not only that, in verse 29, it says what? The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south. Orang Amalek tinggal di tanah Negeb, orang Het, orang Yebus, orang Amori diam di pegunungan. Ya, Yebus itu jadi Yerusalem ya, Jebusite, Yerusalem ya. Orang Yebus dan orang Amori diam di pegunungan, orang Kanan diam sepanjang laut dan sepanjang tepi sungai Yordan. They keep looking at the people instead of the God that can defeat them. Itulah ya, lihat orang-orang, ini orang-orang begini, difficult to get them. They were huge, they were strong, and the fear, rasa takut mulai apa? Masuk ke dalam diri mereka. Mulai kecewa orang-orang. Dan menyadari hal itu, verse 30, Caleb kemudian apa? Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said. Kemudian Caleb mencoba menenteramkan hati bangsa itu di hadapan Musa. Katanya apa? Tidak. Kita akan maju dan menduduki negeri itu sebab kita pasti akan mengalahkannya. Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it. If you look at this verse, maybe it look like simple ya. But if you look closely, kalau kita melihat secara lebih mendekat ya, it is so important to see one word repeated twice in this text. And not only one word, rather, two words are repeated twice in this text. The first word that repeated by Caleb is to the word go up at once. Kita akan maju. Bahasa Yunani, bahasa Ibraninya, go up at once, itu dari satu kata. Itu kata apa? Allah. The word is Allah. Go up, ascend, and climb. Yeah? So the word Allah is repeated twice in Numbers 13, verse 30. Let us, dengan word, artinya itu dua kali diulangi kata Allah itu. Artinya apa? Let us go up, go up. Kata lain. Let us go up, go up. Ini menandakan apa? What does that signify? Penekanan. Like a child asking their parents, Mama or Daddy, I really wanted it. I really want it. Kita betul mau apa? Miliki hal tersebut. So, in other words, let us go up. Let us go up, go up. Ya? Let us go up, go up. Dua kali. Supaya apa? Pasti dengan kata lain. Penekanan. Jangan mundur. Go up. Go up. And that was not the only word that was repeated. Yeah, that was not the only word. The second word that is repeated in this text is that instead of let us go up is well able to overcome it. Pasti akan apa? Mengalahkannya. Tadi kata Allah diulangi dua kali. Sekarang kata yang diulangi dua kali adalah kata Yakol. Ya, Yakol. We are be able. We will have power. Dengan kata lain ya. Like Allah. Seperti kata Allah. The word Yakol is repeated twice in Numbers 13:30. Dengan kata lain. We are well able. We are really able. Pasti kita sanggup. Kita pasti, sangat pasti untuk apa? Mengalahkannya. Caleb has a living hope. But the question is, has this hope shared by the Israelites? Apa ini dibagi juga diyakini oleh orang-orang Israel? Caleb katakan, we are able, we are very able. In other words, kita pasti sanggup. Apa orang-orang bilang? Pasti sanggup? The people number in verse 31. But the man who had gone up with him said. Tetapi orang-orang yang sudah naik ke atas bersama-sama dengan dia berkata, we are not able to Allah. Yakol Allah no. We are not able to Allah. Kita tidak dapat maju menyerang bangsa itu karena mereka lebih kuat dari kita. We are not Yakol. We are not Yakol. We are not Allah. We will never be Yakol. We will never be Allah. Walaupun Caleb sudah katakan, Yakol, Allah. But the people say, no. No, 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 no. We cannot go up against them. They contradicted Caleb because the focus of their faith is different than Caleb. Kenapa mereka mengkontradik, melawan apa yang dikatakan oleh Caleb? Karena fokus iman mereka itu berbeda. What is the focus of their faith? Apa fokus iman mereka? Verse 32, ayat 32. Ayat 32. And they gave the children of Israel a bad report. Ya, slander. Arti kata itu atau evil report. Laporan yang jahat, laporan yang slander. Apa itu slander? Itu fitnahan yang tidak benar, itu artinya slander ya. Mereka memberikan laporan yang tidak benar. Ya. Laporan yang buruk, laporan yang jahat. Ya. Juga mereka menyampaikan kepada orang Israel kabar buruk tentang negeri yang diintai mereka dengan berkata, negeri yang telah kami lalui untuk diintai adalah negeri yang memakan penduduknya. They are what? The people that what? Devours its inhabitants. Orang yang memakan, devour its inhabitants. Maka apa ini? Seperti kanibal ya. And all the people whom we saw in it are men of a great stature. Ya. Apanya yang tidak benar? Apa raksasa-raksasa itu adalah satu kebohongan? Fitnah? No. Betul, mereka itu raksasa. They were giants. They were really strong, giant. Tembok-temboknya very strong. Very strong. Jadi apanya yang tidak benar? What is the bad report in it? What is the evil report? What is the not true report from their report? Apa kira-kira yang tidak benar? Fokus iman mereka ya. Tadi kita sudah bilang ya. Verse 33. Verse 33. There we saw the giants. The descendants of Anak came from the giant. Juga kami lihat di sana orang raksasa, orang enak yang berasal dari orang raksasa. Dan kami lihat diri kami seperti apa? Belalang. We were like grasshoppers in their sight. Apa yang salahnya dengan masalah mereka? We were like grasshoppers in our own sight. Kami lihat diri kami sendiri, dengan kata lain, kami lihat diri kami sendiri seperti belalang, and that is the evil things. Ya, that is the evil things. Apa mereka belalang? Mereka anak-anak Tuhan. They're people of God. And their God is a big God. Tuhan yang sudah menyebabkan bangsa yang utama saat itu Egypt itu lebih besar daripada orang-orang Kanaan in terms of their might. Dari segi kekuasaan militernya, dari segi kekuatannya, Egypt is stronger than them, and yet Tuhan sudah apa? Kasih jatuh itu orang-orang apa? Orang-orang Mesir. Ya. Kasih jatuh. Dengan kata lain, pada saat mereka menyatakan, we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, they were saying, our own God is like grasshopper to them. Allah kita itu bagaikan juga apa? Belalang. They slander the character and the promise of God. The truth is, orang-orang Kanaan itu takut dengan orang Israel. Kenapa? They heard. They heard about what happened in Egypt. They were afraid. They heard. Nothing was secret at that time. They knew about the power of Israelites' God. And yet, the Israelites themselves think, oh, we are small. And our God, dengan kata lain, our God is so small too. Our God can never defeat them in the past. In Bible time, di zaman Alkitab. Kalau Anda mengalahkan negara lain, if you defeat another kingdom, it was not you who defeat another kingdom. It was your God who defeated another kingdom's God. So if you think that we cannot defeat them, you are saying our God cannot win. Allah kita nggak bisa menang. Ya. Allah kita nggak bisa menang. And so in verse 14, verse 3, ya, continuation of Numbers 13, ya. Continuationnya Bilangan 14 ayat 3. Katakan apa? Mengapakah Tuhan membawa kami? See, The problem is not with them like grasshopper, but they think that God will never be able to win against the God of the Canaanites. Mengapakah Tuhan membawa kami ke negeri ini? Why has the Lord brought us to this land to fall by the sword? That our wives and children should become victims? Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? Ujung-ujungnya Allah yang dipersalahkan. Return to Egypt? Yeah, that's what they want. Yeah. They rather be slave. Mereka lebih suka untuk menjadi budak daripada dipimpin oleh Allah. They rather be slave than be led by God. Sedih sekali ya. Ya, sedih sekali ya. So sad. And in Joshua 14 verse 9, it was the time for Joshua. In the beginning, it was Caleb who initiate. Caleb yang membuat inisiatif ya. Tapi sekarang Joshua juga sudah mulai bicara. And in verse 9, Numbers 14 verse 9, Joshua katakan hanya jangan memberontak kepada Tuhan. Do not rebel against the Lord. And do not be afraid of the people of the land because we will devour them. Ingat, their bad report. Oh, the people in Canaan. Orang-orang di Kanaan itu memakan orang lain. No, we will be the one to makan dorang. Kita yang akan makan mereka. We will devour them. Mereka yang akan kita telan habis, kata Joshua. Their protection is gone. Yang melindungi mereka sudah meninggalkan mereka. Sedang Tuhan menyertai kita. But the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid with them. Don't think we are grasshoppers. Jangan pikir kita belalang. We will be the one to devour them. How many of us has been in this experience? Kita pikir, wah ini orang-orang Israel memang pendeta ya. Aduh, gak punya iman mereka. Jangan hanya pikir orang Israel. What about us? Kecil tuh orang pendeta, cuma tinggal 80, 60 orang. Mau bangun gereja, aduh gimana. Gak ada artinya tuh orang, cuman saya sering dengar kita di New Jersey kerja cuma di warehouse. So what? Kenapa? Orang cuma mau lihat orang punya. Ya, kalau saya terus terang saja ya, seringkali merasa lebih kecil daripada sesungguhnya. Saya bukan bilang apa. Kita kadang-kadang seperti orang Israel, saudara. Kita pikir kita kerjanya tidak seperti orang di California, orang di Colorado, everywhere. But the truth is, we don't depend on ourselves. Look at us. Ya. Banyak yang kita telah capai dari jemaat kecil ini. Not because we, but because our God. Ya. Orang pikir perpuluhan kita. I was surprised when there was a time saya dapat info sedikit tentang saudara kita di tempat lain ya. Betul, mungkin their salary is bigger than us, but we can be more faithful than them. Ya, kita lebih apa? Lebih setia dalam mengembalikan persembahan perpuluhan. Terus terang saja, saudara. So don't think that we are grasshoppers. Jangan pikir kita ini hanya sebagai belalang, saudara ya. Never think like that. Kenapa? Because the Lord is with us. Kalau Tuhan berserta dengan kita, seberapa kecil kita, di zaman hakim-hakim, the time of judges, the judges will think, oh, we need to have 10,000 soldiers to be able to win. But God says, no, Gideon, you need only 300. You need only 300 because I want to be with you. Yeah. So what about our faith? Yeah. What about our faith? Well, who won the argument? Siapa yang menang argumen ini? 10 mata-mata dan orang Israel atau kedua orang ini dan Musa? Who won? Kalah Musa. Caleb and Joshua were defeated by the majority. Majority who said that they were grasshopper. Yeah. And so, the promised land was delayed. 40 tahun kemudian baru mereka masuk. 40 days they went inside and 40 years they have to roam around the desert. 40 years, no one. Yeah. Not only that, not only 40 years they would roam around the desert, but only 2 people can enter the promised land. Only Joshua and Caleb. Only Joshua and Caleb. Of course, Caleb was the only one mentioned in verse 24. Caleb, yeah. But my servant Caleb, God says. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit. The success is not because we are many. The success not because we have more money, but because we have the spirit. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has fully followed me, fully, I will bring into the land where he went, and his descendants shall inherit it. Caleb dia memiliki jiwa yang lain jiwa yang ada padanya, dan dia mengikuti aku dengan sepenuhnya. Jiwa yang bagaimana? Jiwa yang bukan merasa kecil. With God, nothing is impossible. Kalau mungkin kita tidak dapat, nggak tahu, saya berdoa, kita bisa bangun tingkat 2. But if we cannot build the second floor, we buy another church, so why not? Okay. Mudah-mudahan bisa ya, tingkat 2-nya. Tapi kalau enggak, with God, we need to have a different spirit than a fearful spirit. We need to have faithful spirit, not fearful spirit. Yeah, faithful spirit. But the point is, Caleb, he said what? He followed me fully. Okay, dia mengikuti aku dengan apa? Sepenuhnya. What does this mean? It means that we can be a follower of Christ setengah-setengah. Setengah hati. We can be follower of Christ half full. Setengah-setengah Jo Pendeta. Ya hari Sabat Jo Pendeta. Kalau hari lainnya sudah Jo. Di tempat kerja ya sudah Jo. Jadi orang dunia oke Pendeta ya. We need to follow God fully. Whether in church, on the street, in the workplace, in the apartment, in the family. We need to follow God fully. We need not follow God fully in the church. We need to follow Him when we open our cell phone, when we open our laptop, when we do whatever we do. Follow Him fully. Yeah. All the way to the promised land, even when there are giants. So, Numbers 14:24. Caleb will have a different, because he has a different spirit. The result, he will enter the promised land. In verse 30 it says like that. In Numbers 14, verse 30. Ya. Numbers 14, verse 30. Apa dikatakan di situ? Okay. Yeah. Numbers 13, verse 40. Ya. Then the children of Judah came, except for Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun, you shall by no means enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell. Tidak ada seorang pun dari orang-orang Israel itu yang akan apa ya? Masuk. Jadi tertundalah mereka. Berapa lama mereka tertunda untuk janji tersebut? Bagaimana kalau pada saat janji tertunda, seperti ayat kita tadi, Amsal 13 ayat 12, harapan yang tertunda apa? Make the heart sick. 40 years. But a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Tetapi keinginan yang terpenuhi adalah pohon apa? Kehidupan. What is the function of pohon kehidupan? Apa yang dilakukan oleh pohon kehidupan? Nggak mau mati-mati kita. Right? Kalau kita masuk dalam kerajaan surga, when we enter the kingdom of God, when we enter the heaven, we have the tree of life. And the tree of life will never, because of that tree of life, will never die. Okay? Will never die. What happened to Caleb? Will he ever die? Yeah, maybe he died already, but at least we'll see something from Caleb. Okay? Let us jump. 40 years later, after finally they entered the kingdom, 40 tahun kemudian pada saat mereka masuk ke tanah perjanjian, what happened? Saat itu kita bisa melihat not their hope deferred, but hope fulfilled. Pengharapannya apa? Dipenuhi 40 tahun kemudian. Ya. Joshua, we go to the book of Joshua. Joshua 14 verse 6. Yosua 14 ayatnya yang ke-6. Then the children of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal. Ya, ini terjadi pada saat apa? Ini pada saat Joshua sudah memiliki tanah-tanah perjanjian. Most of the land have been conquered. Most of the land they have acquired. Mereka sudah dapat tanah-tanah tersebut ya. Dan sudah sementara dibagi-bagikan. Joshua has already assigned the east of Jordan to two tribes that have already received the inheritance, the land. And now, the children of Judah came. Meminta tanah mereka. They want to get their land. Ya. Bani Yehuda datang menghadap Yosua di Gilgal. Pada waktu itu berkatalah Kaleb bin Yefune, orang Kenas itu padanya. Engkau tahu. Okay. Who represent the Judah? Kaleb ya. Engkau tahu firman yang diucapkan Tuhan pada Musa abdi Allah itu tentang aku dan tentang engkau di Kades Barnea. He reminded Joshua, Caleb reminded Joshua about what? About the promise of God during di mana itu? Pada saat mereka apa? Setelah mereka kembali dari apa? Spying di land of Canaan ya. So, Caleb already at that time 85 years old. Joshua already 80 years old. Caleb is older than Joshua. They're the two oldest men because the other one is still young, yeah, younger. Moses died already. Moses already died. So, and what did Caleb say? Apa yang kemudian Caleb katakan ayat 9? Ya, dia ingatkan kembali Joshua, do you remember when we were this? Yeah. Yeah, and you remember that then pada waktu itu Musa bersumpah, Moses swore on that day saying, surely the land where your foot has trodden shall be your inheritance and your children forever because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. Ingat, Musa bilang ini janji Musa. Ya. Tanah itu akan menjadi apa? Usaha kamu. Ayat 10, verse 10. Now, Caleb katakan, now, sesungguhnya Tuhan telah memelihara hidupku seperti yang dijanjikannya. 3 times, Caleb talks about the promise of God, what God has promised, the promise of what? The promise of God. Yeah. The Lord has, the Lord promised that kept me alive for 45 years since the time he said this to Moses, when Israel moved about in the wilderness. So here I am today, 85 years old. Yeah, 85 years old. What happened when you're 85 years old? Waduh, setengah mati ya. Saya belum ada di antara kita 85 seperti orang tua saya ya. Orang tua saya itu baru 84 ya. 83. Tapi harus pakai tongkat. Dia harus ada knee replacement. Mudah-mudahan tidak ada di antara kita ya. So untuk jalan saja susah ya. 85 years old is difficult. But what happened to Caleb at 85 years old? What did he ask? Apa yang dia sekarang minta kepada Tuhan? Read verse 11. Very interesting, verse 11. Saudara. Pada waktu ini umur berapa dia? 85 years old. Aku masih sama kuat seperti pada waktu aku disuruh apa? Musa. I am as strong this day as on the day that Moses sent me. Just as my strength was then, so now is my strength for what? Untuk cuti, untuk sekarang mulai beristirahat, nggak bikin apa-apa. Sekarang umur 85, apa yang dia minta? Supaya dia santai-santai di spa. Ya. Untuk vacation on cruise. Dia bilang apa? So now, kekuatanku sekarang untuk berperang, untuk keluar apa? Keluar masuk. Kalau kita 85 tahun sekarang udah mau keluar masuk bagaimana? Keluar saja udah susah, mau masuk lagi sudah berhenti Jo. 85 tahun sekarang kalau ke airport itu minta apa? Kursi roda, saudara, ditolak dengan kursi roda. 85 tahun. But he was looking for war. Melawan perang yang bagaimana? He was looking for what kind of war? With who? Kita mudah tulis baca Alkitabnya ya. Ayat 12. Now, give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. Oleh sebab itu, berikanlah kepadaku pegunungan yang dijanjikan Tuhan pada waktu itu, sebab engkau sendiri mendengar pada waktu itu. Ya. Dia bukan minta, he did not ask for the land that has been conquered. He did not ask for the land that has been secured. Dia bukan minta tanah yang sudah dikuasai oleh Bani Israel. No. He was not asking for secured land. He was asking for the land that has not yet been conquered. Yang belum dikalahkan. Sekarang Yang paling dia mau kalahkan itu tanah yang bagaimana, bangsa yang bagaimana, what kind of people that he would want to fight with. Dikatakan, you yourself heard that the Anakites were there and their cities were large and fortified, but the Lord helping me, I will drive them out just as he said. Dia bukan mau cari yang gampang-gampang. Aduh, ini so dikuasai ini tanah. Sini Jo kita ya. Kita di sini Jo ya. Yang so ada gerejanya, kita mau jadi pendeta di situ yang ada so ada gerejanya. Belum. Dia mau pergi justru di tempat yang paling apa? Paling susah. Melawan orang yang paling besar, orang-orang anak atau orang-orang enak. Kenapa? Karena kekuatannya itu bukan dia karena dia 85 tahun masih kuat, masih banyak obat, masih punya ini dan itu. No. Because the Lord helping me. Yeah. Because the Lord helping me. 85 years old. No time for cruise. But time to open the church. Ya. Ini tantangan buat om lalaki ini. No time to relax. No. Yeah. What about our hope today? Do we have this hope like Caleb, 85 years old? 40 years disappointed. 40 years the hope delayed. But yet, the hope is still burned within his heart to overcome not only the mountains, but the mountains and the giants. The question is, what is the mountains and the giants that you are facing now? Apa mountain and giants yang Anda secara pribadi alami saat ini? Masalah keluarga, masalah pekerjaan, masalah cinta. Masalah cinta. Nah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Is there any mountain? Is there any giants that God will say, oh no, Arda, that giant, that mountain is too big for me. I cannot be with you to defeat the giants in that mountain. Adakah giants dan mountain yang Tuhan tidak sanggup untuk kalahkan? No. Is there any problem that is too great for our God to overcome? Just say, dia kata, no, I will drive them out. Yeah, I will drive them out. And this is the kind of faith that we need to have. Yeah, this is the kind of faith that we need to have. Ibrani 12 ayat 1 sampai 2 katakan, marilah kita menanggalkan semua beban dan dosa yang begitu merintangi kita dan berlomba dengan tekun dalam perlombaan yang diwajibkan bagi kita. Marilah kita dalam perlombaan hidup ini, in our what? In our race, with the challenges that we have in front of us, let us what? Let us face them. Let us face the giant with the eyes looking unto Jesus. Dengan mata yang tertuju kepada Yesus yang memimpin kita. We may be grasshoppers. Ya, mungkin kita belalang. Tapi kita dipimpin oleh Tuhan Allah. Ya. Jangan pernah berpikir Tuhan Allah kita kecil. So, marilah kita melakukan dengan mata yang tertuju pada Yesus yang memimpin kita dalam iman dan yang membawa iman kita kepada apa? Kesempurnaan. The author and finisher of our faith. Yes, we have hope. Kita sudah memulaikan kehidupan rohani kita dengan pengharapan. Marilah kita akhiri kehidupan kerohanian kita dengan pengharapan yang sama seperti yang Caleb miliki dan dia juga telah apa? Tunjukkan. Saya bawa ini dalam nama Yesus.